The fight we've all been waiting for has finally happened, and here are the post-fight reactions. Now that the dust has settled and this historic clash is behind us, it's fascinating to revisit what the boxing world was saying in the build-up. The pre-fight buzz painted a picture of uncertainty, tactical chess, and two elite fighters meeting at very different points in their legendary careers. Looking back, Jim Gray nailed one prediction in particular. You can never truly script what happens when two greats step into the ring. Before the fight, he warned that no matter how prepared Canelo and Crawford were, everything would shift the moment the first punch landed. Game plans fade fast when the leather starts flying, and that turned out to be spot on.
Well, he seems to be prepared and ready for it, and yes, there is that danger. Look at what happened when Canelo moved up in weight against Beeble. So, there's a lot of examples, and there's examples the other way as well. So, it's hard to predict what is going to happen in a fight. That is why they fight. So for anybody to say they have a crystal ball and they know, I suggest they go down the hall here, because if they know it now, they'll end up leaving a heck of a lot more money in their pocket, and they'll be able to have that reading from that crystal ball. So nobody knows until they fight. Everybody has a plan, like Mike Tyson said, until they get punched in the mouth. So we'll see what happens.
Gray also emphasized that no game plan survives first contact with the opponent. He predicted that both men would be forced to adapt on the fly, with the real test coming in how they handled the power, the weight gap, and the unpredictable moments inside the ring. Looking back now, his warning about the impossibility of making accurate predictions before fight night feels almost prophetic.
It's hard to give a strategy until we see actually what transpires. So I'm sure he has a strategy, and I'm sure, he can switch on a moment's notice. So, Canelo's fought southpaws. He's obviously fought, orthodox. So, but for a guy to switch in the middle of a round, perhaps that'll be something that, could be a difference. It's impossible to say here. How's he going to react when he gets hit by somebody with this type of power, this type of weight? So, strategies are all great. Everybody can prognosticate and, tell you what's going to happen. But
Stephen A. Smith framed this showdown as the ultimate clash of styles. On one side, Canelo's strength and experience. On the other, Crawford's speed and technical brilliance. His pre-fight breakdown zeroed in on a critical question. Could Crawford stay clear of Canelo's punishing power while outboxing the Mexican superstar over 12 rounds?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Alvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
And when I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway for crying out loud.
Right.
The thing that I don't like about Canelo is that it's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yes.
And that's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this.
Smith also pointed to the weight factor as a potential game changer. He predicted that Canelo's natural comfort at super middleweight would hand him clear advantages in strength and endurance. At the same time, he acknowledged Crawford's proven adaptability and high ring IQ when moving up in weight. Still, Smith stressed that for Crawford to prevail, he would need flawless execution of speed, movement, and timing, themes that became central in the build-up to this fight.
He said Crawford could find himself in trouble, and I'm not sure it was him, but I think it was him. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, strong fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's going to go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always
prepared.
He's always ready. He's always prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's fast.
Showbiz the Adult had also highlighted a fascinating psychological angle in the build-up. He pointed out that while Canelo's dominance at super middleweight gave him the comfort of experience, it was Crawford who carried the heavier burden of proof. As the smaller man moving up, the pressure was squarely on his shoulders to show he could hang with the champion. Showbiz noted that the extra intensity Crawford displayed throughout camp reflected just how much mental and physical strain both men were under heading into this showdown.
I've been feeling a lot of pressure on Crawford. You know, Crawford has more pressure to try to make this fight big, right? Because Canelo name itself is going to do whatever, but people need to know who he's fighting, all right? And I see Crawford doing more work than Canelo, and Canelo did, you know, he put himself in a position where he doesn't have to work as much. The lights and everything, I did see that as a bit uncomfortable for Bud. But for me, Bud's a killer. So when a bell strikes, all that shit gonna be behind him, especially once he gets hit. When Crawford gets hit, it's on. It's like what Mike Tyson said, we're always nervous, but the closer you get to the ring, and then when you get in there, you become an animal. I think, you know, all of this stuff is a lot for Crawford, I think, right? This is a big moment, and it's coming up very fast. This is a very fast, we're already on a hump day.
His tactical breakdown also centered on Crawford's calculated, methodical style, instead of chasing a highlight reel knockout. Showbiz emphasized how Crawford's intricate footwork patterns could be the key to offsetting Canelo's proven ring generalship, setting the stage for the high-level chess match fans were expecting inside the ropes.
Cheek put up that bonus for the knockout bonus. Oh, that. Now, Bud Crawford ain't going for the knockout. If it comes, it comes. He's trying to win the fight. The knockout shit, that's Nello, dog. That's Nello. That's Nelo's trying to get to the bag. Let me see. Crawford has better footwork, though. Although Nello is good at cutting off the ring, he has bad knees. What are your thoughts on this, please? I was going to wait to say this, but I think I know what Canelo's going to do.
Christian and Billy had been crystal clear in his pre-fight stance, stressing the importance of competing in your natural weight division. For him, Canelo's established dominance at super middleweight would be the decisive edge against Crawford making the leap from welterweight. His take showed just how divided even fellow professionals were on whether the weight jump could truly be overcome.
Well, I think Canelo gonna win, but yeah, Canelo. Because Canelo is the real super middleweight. It's his division, and for me, I don't think you can take weight like this and do same performance that you have done in the past. I think maybe for me, I think the weight would be the difference.
Wade Plemons had gone into detail with one of the most specific blueprints for Crawford's success. He argued that merely surviving or edging out close rounds wouldn't be enough. Crawford would have to take command from the very start. In Plemons' view, piling up points early and sustaining relentless pressure throughout was Crawford's only real path to pulling off what many already saw as a monumental upset.
Everybody can go down, but Terrence Crawford, in my opinion, has to clearly beat Canelo. I mean, get up on those scorecards and run away with this thing. And again, those points that I laid out earlier is the way he does that. He has to continue to keep pressure on Canelo. He has to continue to stifle Canelo, and he has to clearly beat it. I just see Terrence Crawford, if he's going to win, he's going to have to win by 3, 4, 5 rounds, which means, again, you want to rack those first 4 out of 6. You want to be able to maintain it late into the fight. You're going to have to play risky. You're going to have to do things that normally you wouldn't have to do. You're going to have to be in Canelo's face. There's a lot of things that Terrence Crawford is not used to that he's going to have to do this time around.
Wade had also underlined how this matchup would push Crawford far beyond his usual comfort zone. He predicted that Bud would need to abandon his trademark patience, take risks unlike anything we'd seen from him before, and stay glued to Canelo with relentless aggression. For Wade, the key theme was clear. Crawford would have to defend and counter at an elite level while under constant pressure, a demand that would test every ounce of his boxing brilliance.
That that he's going to have to do this time around. But out of the two of them, who is more equipped to do that? That'd be Terence Crawford. I do think he's the more well-rounded fighter in terms of his offense to defense, his selection in punching, his accuracy while punching, going forward, going backward. Yes, his ability to fight in both stances, but more so his ability to counter whilst not being out of the pocket, keeping exchanges, being in the pocket, being defensive in the pocket, but also countering with feet, angle switch, and making people pay for winging power shots that aren't necessarily set up with much, which is kind of what Canelo has been doing over his last couple of fights.
Perhaps most intriguingly, Wade Plemons also weighed in on where both legends stood in their careers coming into this clash. He pointed out that Canelo had shown hints of slowing down and moments of vulnerability in recent outings, while Crawford's undefeated record carried a unique psychological edge. In Wade's view, that unblemished record gave Bud something Canelo no longer possessed: the unwavering confidence of a fighter who has never tasted defeat.
So if you have a plotty fighter in Canelo, who is, regardless of what you think, over the last couple of years, definitely slowed down, has not been the same Canelo that we even saw fight Caleb Plant, Terence Crawford can take advantage of that with the things that we've seen him do to fighters that are plotty, to fighters that haven't been able to keep up with his pace. And quite frankly, with the last point we'll end off on, Terence Crawford has an inability to lose that Canelo just doesn't have right now. And I'm not saying Canelo's a loser or anything like that, but Terence Crawford has never lost as a professional, and that has to count for something, right? Canelo has seen defeat. There have been ways that you can say that is how you beat Canelo because people have beaten Canelo doing it.
Now that we've witnessed how this incredible fight played out, those pre-fight perspectives carry an even deeper meaning. The experts truly captured the elements that made this showdown so compelling: the clash of styles, the weight dynamics, the tactical chess match, and the career-defining stakes for both men. Some predictions hit the mark, others missed entirely, but the bottom line is clear: Canelo versus Crawford delivered everything the boxing world hoped for: elite strategy, explosive action, and unforgettable moments. This is a fight that will be analyzed, debated, and remembered for years to come, cementing its legacy as one of the defining battles in modern boxing history. What about you? How do you think these predictions stacked up against what really happened? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your take. This is one fight no true boxing fan will want to miss. Smash that like and subscribe for more raw boxing content.